Moscow, Idaho, a massacre of 4 college students in the middle of the night, so horrific, the coroner is still processing what she saw.
Looking under fingernails, they'll be doing all sorts of different exams. It was very, very traumatic.
My kid loves Greek Girl. She loves it. But it is so out of control. Well, 10 kids have died since last, February?
10?
That I know.
At which university?
At U of I. After San Martinez died,
black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose walking towards her. She says that male walked past her as she stood in a frozen shock phase.
So Sunday, the day of the discovery and the day of the murders, Sunday afternoon, word goes out from law enforcement that the community is not at risk. Monday, that's repeated. But then on Wednesday, there's a backtracking of that very fundamental question of whether, there's somebody on the loose that we need to be fearful of.
We're learning that the caller was not either of the 2 roommates who live in the house and apparently slept through the massacre. So the mystery is...
Perhaps the most important thing, Ashley, that doesn't seem to jive with this new information, she said, quote, that she was in a frozen shock phase. A frozen shock phase. I don't understand how that matches up with her just thinking that there was partying going on in the house.
The need for safety was acknowledged as a basic human need by Abraham Maslow in his hierarchy of needs chart. The need for safety is present in all animals, but unlike other animals and early man, we no longer seek shelter from predators hunting us down for food. However, safety is still essential, and our actions are no less engineered to ensure our survival. Now, based on the town's reaction to the murders, how far would you go to ensure your town is the safest in the country? Is it possible that the real killers are still out there? From what we know so far, Bryan Kohberger seems super confident that he will be exonerated on all charges in his case.
Bryan Kohberger issuing a subpoena for Funk to testify. Kohberger's legal team claiming Funk has exculpatory information that might help to exonerate him.
And now, with all of the new evidence that has been released, I'm starting to doubt that he will be found guilty in this case. Let me explain why I would make that statement. To do this, we have to go back in time. But first, let's hear a word from our sponsors. Hey guys, I had no idea my personal information was so available to everyone on the internet. I mean, even my address was exposed online. Have you ever Googled yourself and been so shocked to see all of your personal information exposed on one of those public listing sites? For example, if you search your name right now on Google, you'll be surprised by what personal information is exposed. I did this with myself and found my address, my family members, and even my bank account. I started to think, hey, maybe that's why I get those 1-800 callers asking me if my car warranty expired. I felt so unsafe and vulnerable, and I started to think about ways to secure my information. That's why I'm excited to tell you about today's video sponsor, Aura. Casper, what's Aura? Aura is an identity protection service. They'll scour the internet for all of your information that is made public and delete it for you. I get emails from Aura saying, hey, somebody was looking for your name, or somebody was looking for your social security number. Would you like us to delete it? Absolutely, I would. You can try Aura free for 2 weeks using my link on the screen. Aura also does so much more to protect you and your family from online threats that you cannot see. It's super easy to set up, so you don't have to download several different apps to get things like parental controls, antivirus, VPN, password management, identity theft insurance, and many more. You get everything at one affordable price. One feature that I really love about Aura is their parental controls and safe gaming. I have younger relatives who always ask me to play a game on my phone or computer. It's simple. I'll just block certain sites that I don't want them to visit, and Aura handles the rest. Aura is also powered by AI, so it has text and voice monitoring to keep your child away from online cyberbullying, online predators, and scams 24/7. You literally have nothing to lose. All you got to do is click the link in my description below, which is aura.com/Casper West. They are going to hook you up with a 2-week free trial. Give it a shot, see if it works. Go find your personal information, check your credit report. Go and protect your family. Get this information wiped off the internet. Again, the link is in the description. Now let's get back to the video. A few years ago in 2016, right inside of Pullman, Washington, a 19-year police veteran and Pullman sergeant was charged with first-degree custodial sexual misconduct. He was the focus of a 2016 internal affairs investigation at the Pullman Police Department, which found he had propositioned a female department employee for sex. According to spokesman, Sergeant Dan, age 49, was arrested and charged that Tuesday on an accusation that he received oral sex from a Washington State University student near a public park in late March in exchange for letting her off the hook for underage drinking. Court records say his semen was found on the victim's sleeve. The victim alleged that the officer picked her up for being intoxicated outside of her dorm with the stated intent of taking her to the police station before stopping his patrol car, telling her to get out of the vehicle and onto her knees and unzipping his pants. The student alleged that she then gave the officer oral sex. After the alleged incident, the student reported it to the Wazoo Office of Equal Opportunity on April 5th, which reported it to the Wazoo Police Department. This shocked the entire community, with people on Facebook angry at his release, and some saying that women are not safe in that area. One user stated, "He is still facing charges and more people are coming forward." Another user stated, "Why would you just let him go? This is a college town full of potential victims. Now he can flee again. Disgusting. If he had stabbed someone, he would still be locked up. No bail? Seriously? Is it a coincidence that people who abuse their position of authority find themselves in towns with young college kids? If you watched my last video, I talked about a professor doing something similar with students at the University of Idaho. Now we know the Idaho murder home was a known party place and had a bunch of noise complaints. Based on the body cam footage, witnesses in the community, and former tenants, it seemed like they partied a lot in that house. I could imagine they received many warnings, but how many warnings does it take before someone can be taken into jail? According to the Idaho statutes, Title 18, Chapter 6409, disturbing the peace, every person who maliciously and willfully disturbs the peace or quiet of any neighborhood, family, or person by loud or unusual noise, or by tumultuous or offensive conduct, or by threatening, traducing, quarreling, challenging to fight or fighting, or firing any gun or pistol, or using any vulgar, profane, or indecent language within the presence or hearing of children in a loud and boisterous manner is guilty of a misdemeanor. While it may not seem like a serious offense, you could be looking at a fine and up to 6 months in jail. However, I checked the arrest records and didn't find any evidence of the arrest of any of the roommates. So how were they escaping a charge of disturbing the peace? Were they silenced for knowing information that could jeopardize someone's reputation? The police stated that this was a targeted attack. But why would anyone want to target 4 college students with no criminal record? Now I look back into how Moscow PD handled the evidence in this case and found this. A source told OK Magazine that cops likely destroyed evidence due to their negligence or allowed it to be compromised with their sluggish response. The reality is that this evidence was likely obliterated, and if the cops had done things correctly, the source said, those tire marks would have been photographed, measured, and preserved on the day when the victims were found. The time that elapsed between when the bodies were found and when the forensics team returned to the crime scene allowed crucial evidence to be corrupted by weather or activity. With no suspect or no murder weapon and little to no leads, you have to ask the question, did police botch the investigation from the get-go? The Daily Mail previously revealed that a garbage truck filled with trash was allowed to collect the dumpster from the scene before it was searched. The error made the search for the knife used in the gruesome attack that much more difficult. Chapin Sr. stated, "There's a lack of information from the University of Idaho and the local police, which only fuels false rumors and innuendos in the press and social media." Now, how come one of the biggest cases in the state, and probably the country, is being handled in this manner by veteran police officers? Are all of these situations happening accidentally? Usually, the bigger the case, the more the police are trying to be extra careful not to ruin any evidence. So, are we to believe that this 180-pound man with a PhD and no known history of violence, only a history of being quiet and quote-unquote weird, killed 4 people and left no trace of evidence, no blood trail, and was able to escape that tiny community and allegedly return to the scene a few hours later and be undiscovered for a month and a half? Bryan said from the beginning that he would be exonerated. Does he know something that the media doesn't want to share? He allegedly asked the police if anyone else had been arrested. With all the new information being revealed, how can we reject his statements? Now, the court demanded Bethany to come and testify. She filed a quash motion, meaning she doesn't want to, and explained why she doesn't want to. However, she recently agreed to be interviewed by Bryan Kohberger's defense team. Kohberger's legal team stated that Bethany may have exculpatory evidence that can exonerate Kohberger. If you watched my last video, I explained why Bryan Kohberger's charges could be dismissed, and his defense team has been sitting on exculpatory evidence that could benefit Kohberger for a while now. Dylan's statements were included in the affidavit, but why did they not include Bethany's statements in that same affidavit? I'm shocked that they wouldn't include Bethany's statements, especially her allegedly being inside of the home when the crime occurred. Why is it that the defense needs to take the initiative to include Bethany's statements instead of the prosecution? Many people online speculated that Bethany allegedly saw a naked man running out of the house that night. However, a few people came out and said that this was not true. Is it possible there was more than one person? I wanted to examine the one person whose testimony many people online disregarded, except me. WSU mom. Remember, she stated that there was more than one person. Now, WSU mom stated that Ethan's siblings came over before the mainstream media even reported it. She also reported that there's been over 10 college deaths since February.
Do you know for sure that is what the phone calls were about when the roommates called at 8 a.m. and...
I think what I heard, and I'm not sure which of the girls said it, was they were getting rid of everything in the house. They were cleaning the house, which would explain the van shoe print. Because I'm almost 100% sure that TA guy doesn't wear Vans. College kids, frat kids wear Vans. Like, come on, right? And then to say that Murphy was found in the bedroom with Kaylee but didn't have a speck of blood on him. Are you kidding me? The smell would have just bowled you over.
It doesn't take 4 hours. So
yeah,
it's like...
So I don't know. They were coming up... I think they were coming up with the narrative.
So you know for sure there were other guys that stayed overnight?
I do know that there were other guys there. I know told me that he was a triplet and that his brother was there.
Hunter Chapin, yeah, he was... That all happened and the roommates were just asleep?
They weren't asleep. They were awake. They heard it all. They knew who it was. And I don't know, in the translation, if saw 3 people inside and 1 outside watching. She loves it. But it is so out of control. Well, 10 kids have died since last, February?
10?
That I know.
At which
at U of I. After Sam Martinez died.
Now, why isn't the mainstream media covering this? How come we haven't heard about all of these deaths that's happened to these college kids in this college town? Can we really say that there weren't more people involved? Who could these people be? I think there's a reason Bethany's statements weren't included in the affidavit when she was interviewed. We will get a better picture of who was involved and who is hiding secrets. In my opinion, if the students were silenced, how could we ensure the truth in their statements? We are already seeing many conflicting statements that may overturn this case. What do you think Bethany will reveal? And will it free Bryan Kohberger? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, be well. Peace.